Hello and welcome, my dear friends. Welcome to a review of a fantastic vintage German fountain pen from the 1950s. I recently bought this pen and the seller sent it to me in this wonderful original Montblanc etui from the 1950s. You can see Montblanc right over here. It is of a brown color. The only defect to it is this. You can see it. The actual model I will present to you today is Montblanc 342, a wonderful pen from the beginning of the 1950s. Like I told you, I recently bought this pen and it came to me as a lot with this one and another etui from Caveco. For this particular one, I paid around 300 leis, so for this and this etui, the equivalent of 60.30 euros or 65.47 US dollars. An amazing price, my friends. And this is a product of the 1950s. This is a product of the 1960s. And the design of this is from 1983. It's a little bit larger than its 1950s counterpart, the Meisterstück 146. I'm showing just as a size short analysis of this pen. So let me put this and this aside. I will put also this wonderful etui aside, and now we will concentrate on our fountain pen. I said to you that it is a 342 model, and I know that for a fact because they engraved it right here at the end of the turning knob, this being a piston filler. You can see 342, when in fact the production of this fountain pen started in 1951, right after the Second World War. So gold reserves were short, and the basic model had a steel nib, and this model has that steel nib I'm talking about. You can see Montblanc, and it is a number 2 nib. And also back in 1951 they launched also a version 342G, and G stood for gold and was the luxury version fitted with a gold nib. Around 1953 they dropped the G because all the nibs were made from gold, and the production of this particular model finished around the beginning of the 1960s. What is interesting about the pen is the engraving with the Montblanc fitted one side of the cap. Very nice. And unfortunately this model is lacking the white logo. We can see some traces left right on the top of the cap. It has gold plated trims, and on this particular model we have also the size of the nib F engraved at the end of the turning knob. What is wonderful about this pen is the feeder, which is specific to the models from the beginning of the 1950s. And this particular one has a transparent ink window. Let me show you the piston right over here. And interesting enough, this particular model, it doesn't have a corkscrew, but a later plastic end of the feeder. I was expecting a corkscrew, but no. So I guess it could be a replacement part, or they used those endings even in the beginning of the 1950s, although I know for a fact that they were used primarily in the second part of the 1950s. It is a very, very elegant pen with this grip section, the concave grip section. It gives a nice grip, and also the threads here add to the grip position. A very, very nice piece indeed. In fact, I will leave its dimensions on the screen, and then we will do a writing sample with it. I will use the Faber-Castell turquoise ink for the writing sample. But before I will do that, let me change the angle of the camera like this, my friends, for you to see better the writing session. So like this. Okay. What is very, very nice about this pen, it is very easy to clean and maintain. So practically you can disassemble it like this, and you can clean the part very nice. You can also use a syringe to clean the reservoir. So a very practical way to reach the actual deposit of ink. This is particularly useful when you change the colors of ink. And now, without further delay, I will take the turquoise ink. I will give it a little shake. I hope you don't mind, my friends. I've just cleaned this particular pen, so I will just dip it in ink. I'm not using the piston. I'm just dipping it in ink. Now I will remove the excess of ink as good as I can, and let me clean the grip section. And now I am ready for the writing sample. I will use it capped. Okay. So what do we have here, my dear friends? We have a Montblanc 342. I said made in Germany. And because it has this thin nib, I think it was made between 1951 and 1953, when they used only gold nibs. So the steel nibs were available, and also this type of feeder, only in the beginning of the 1950s. So this is a very, very nice piece from the history of Montblanc. This particular model in the variation G was fitted with a gold nib, and it was produced all the way till the 1960s, the early 1960s. So basically for a decade it was the base entry model for Montblanc, the Series 3. This is fitted with a steel nib, a number 2 nib, which is basically engraved on it. The size of the nib, we can see it right here at the piston, the ending of the piston. We have an F nib, F for fine. Okay, now let me test the nib to see if we have a flexible steel nib. We'll see about it. And amazing, my friends, I don't know if you can see, but it is a little bit of a flex to it, very little, but a nice flex, little flex. It is a lovely juicy nib. And now let me see if we have a line variance to it. Now I'm not applying pressure and I'm starting to apply pressure, but no visible line variance. Okay, it does the signatures quite nice, and now let's see if it can reverse right. So again, reverse, let's see, a little zoom if I can. Yes, reverse writing. Well, yes, I think it writes like an extra fine one in comparison with the F it usually writes. It doesn't scratch, so I think it is, the reverse writing is possible, but for short periods of writing sessions. So now at the end I will tell you about the forks right here. Okay, let's see, let's zoom a little bit. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. A very nice nib, maybe not so smooth like a gold nib, but it certainly does its job. It comes from a period when the German industry just recovered from the Second World War, so they did not have many reserves of gold. This is the reason they launched this in steel. Of course, it is the entry level. The Series 3 back then, so it was at an affordable price. The G was the luxury version of it, but again, a lovely piece fitted with this amazing feeder, which I simply love. And I got this for a very reasonable price, and this etui is quite rare, probably the best find of this lot. The etui is even rarer than this pen, and I'm quite pleased with my latest acquisition. Tell me, my friends, what do you think of this model? Please subscribe to my channel for other amazing videos, reviews with fountain pens. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I will see you again in the next one. Till then, bye bye, my dear friends, and God bless you all.